Welcome, my friends, to the good ride, where Peter chaps my hide when I don't talk correctly about the ride. This is the Contact Pro. Got just a little time on this right before COVID, but even if we didn't, it would just be so easy to review because here's the main change. It got a hand-me-down ankle strap from the old Strata that we don't have here.
Strata I just got a new ankle strap.
Yep, and this got the old one. Right here it is, right here. And here's just a little something. This is the old Union Super Pro, and it has a lot of similarities to the Contact Pro. It's kind of like the Scotty Stevens Pro, and I did a little, upgrading of my own to keep it relevant.
Yeah.
And just wanted to show you that. And this is just a light, chill binding.
Super light, super chill.
It's their buttery, freestyle, playful binding. Yep. And you can see this Highback Flex. Like, it really takes it... Highback. It really takes it a step softer than the Strata. It has a little... this doesn't have any give. This has a little twist. Check this guy out. Oh my God. Look at those boat hands. Yeah, this has a little... See, I can't do that. But it has more twist and just a little bit more give. It's light. Did we say that?
We did.
Okay,
said it a few times.
Very light.
Very
and
light.
The Flex underfoot,
It's also
this is my favorite for buttery boards. When I want my board to butter, this is the Union binding I choose. That's why I keep my Super Pros around, because let's say, for example, when I go out on my Yes Greats and I don't need a lot of response, but I still need some to power the board, but I want the most in butterability, I put these on. If I want a little less more butterability, a little more dampness, a little more response, I go with the Strata. So this is their freestyle, kind of their biggest, most park-oriented freestyle binding they have. And you can see that by the way it flexes underfoot. Turn initiation response, yeah, definitely on that medium to medium soft, but still, like, Union just always surprises me. Like, you think this binding is just gonna be super slow, but I would say it's almost on par with the Cartel and other bindings that are marked as like medium fast response. Well, this just powers a board.
It's true.
Much faster than you would think, but it's definitely on the smoother, more mellow response side of Union's spectrum. But in compared to a lot of other bindings out there, I've found this more responsive than some all mountain binding.
They've just done a really good job at making a park-oriented, soft, flexing binding still be responsive, and you could still take this. Anyone competent enough would just not miss a beat all over the mountain with this.
Continent enough.
Anyone incontinent enough should wear a diaper while wearing these bindings.
Don't shit on your Contact Pros.
Yeah.
Shock absorption goes, like we said in the Strata review, the Strata's better at high speed, like micro bumpy, kind of like chatter and chunder. This is better at the slow speed, like if you're doing just like just some flatland tricks or something, and you're gonna land on, you're gonna land a little harder than you normally would, let's say on a big transition. This is gonna give you a little more shock absorption and be a little bit better. It's still not gonna be as damp though.
Still in the grand scheme of things, it's not as damp as arguably one of the dampest bindings out there, overall. But this is still... It's still nice and soft. It still feels very, very comfortable underfoot.
Yes.
As far as going through chunder and stuff.
Totally. And then support, the new ankle strap gives you much more support than before. There's still a lot of freedom of movement. If you compare this to the Strata, this is harder this year.
That's the 21.
Yeah. The Strata 21 versus the Contact Pro 21. This is going to be softer, a little more playful, but a lot more support than before.
This is always one of my biggest areas of contention of bindings as to whether or not the toe strap.
Thank you, Pete.
It can either be like okay, or it can kind of really suck, and there are very few companies that are just awesome. I'm just like, this is if I were designing a toe
Over the
strap,
top, over the toe.
it stretches. Yeah, it doesn't stretch too far. You can crank it down as hard as you want your toe strap to be cranked down, and it just fully socks in the boot without ever letting go.
And
I
like
almost
with the
never.
Adidas Tacticals that we ride with, or any other boot we ride
Yeah.
with, it never lets go.
Yeah, there are so many other binding companies out there. I get to the bottom of the run and I find the toe strap is off. This rarely ever happens, and if it does, it's usually because there was a bunch of like snow packed in the, and my boot wasn't in the right place to begin with, and it shifted at the bottom of the run. But yes, it's an awesome toe strap. I like to point that out.
And the Ratchet System is just amazing. Our favorite Ratchet System probably out there right now. There are a lot of good companies that make a lot of good ratchets, but this is like, it just works, and I can have these ratchets as long as I don't hit them or fuck them up. They'll work for years.
Yeah.
Some bindings I've had for 6 years from Union, and they're just still smooth on and off. Adjustability. You got the same old kind of toolless stuff, except for here. I don't know if production will have a tool there or not, but if not, you'll have to pick up the shattered pieces of your life and pick up a tool and maybe adjust it. The Highback.
The rest of it.
The Highback, see, like, this is what I don't understand with the Strata. Why don't they just put this forward lean on instead of the screw?
Yeah, they're just trying to be edgy and cool there.
Each one kind of has one little problem, right? This takes a screw to adjust the Highback forward lean. This doesn't, but this has a nice little toolless thing right here. That one, for some reason, doesn't. But being a mini disc, and the way they've set up this base plate, it doesn't have an adjustable gas pedal, but it does have an adjustable heel cup, so you can slide this in or out to your boot size, and most likely center your boot in your binding, and therefore center it on your board, and turn the disc sideways and be able to slide back and forth. You also have the old school high back rotation. You can rotate it 3 ways. And then stance width with the mini disc. It's Burton channel compatible, but you can turn this sideways and pretty much get your stance width on any board, as long as within reason, I guess, and dial it out. So overall, still the Contact Pro doesn't have the cant, doesn't have the response of the Strata, but just such a great park to mountain freestyle binding. I love having something very close to this in my Super Pro, kind of like the Scott Stevens Pro, in my quiver, and I've ridden it for years now, and no, I'm not parting with them anytime soon. I know a lot of people asked over the years, and if they're gonna go to anybody, it might be this dude right here.